Hey YouTubers, welcome back to this hair retouching series, and I would want to get to what we have to talk about today. So, like in the previous video, we looked at hair removal, hair strand removal, outside hair strand removal, to be precise. And this is what we did in there. If you haven't watched this video, kindly go watch it. I'll link up the video. I think somehow I'll suggest a card for you guys to go watch it. It's just my recent video actually, so just go watch it and know how to easily take out outside hair strands quickly and as easily as possible and as natural as possible. So in today's video we'll be looking at interior hair strands removal, these crosshairs, like how everybody, well, it's labeled crosshairs, and yeah, and I'll be teaching you guys, so I'll be showing you guys quick and easy ways to taking out these crosshairs. So what you have to keep in mind is always creating a new layer, right? And with creating a new layer, you're looking at taking them out and not affecting the surrounding hair pattern we see there. So with this hair strand, you realize like it's kind of light. Or let's take this one. This hair strand is very light, and you realize where it's crossing a part of, let's say, a dark part, right? Or in this area, it's trying to it's in actually in a dark parts area or in a darker area. So you're looking at ways to keep the darker parts there and by the hair strand removed. So there are many ways. There are many ways in removing hair strands. You can use the clone stamp tool. You can use the healing brush tool, the spot healing tool, where you have to sample and clean. And but with that, you can't use that here because the information on this background is very disturbing, and you wouldn't know where to sample and where to clean. So I think clone stamp tool is the best. And with that, it mostly comes with using two particular layers. So I have an action for that. I'll explain what the action is about. So I think hair removal across hairs, my action plays, and this is just a check layer I created, right? So invert, black and white, and solarize. Solarize is more of this curve here. Black and white is a normal black and white layer adjustment, and the invert is just tap on this adjustment and there's invert, and you're good to go. That being said, this shows me the particular hair strands I would want to remove. If I turn this off, literally you don't see what's in the blacks. Yes, that's the advantage of shooting black or dark hairs, right? You basically try and avoid, because it's going to be quite a tedious work. You basically try and avoid these dark parts because you literally darken them when you're dodging and burning, so that you would avoid all these tedious work in hair strand removal, like you can see here. But if you have the time and you have nowhere going and it's something you want to do personally, you can just take them out as easily as possible. So this check layer is there to help you know which particular strand to take off and which not to take off. And as you can see, there's a new layer created, there's a new folder created here, crosshair removal. So it's bright hairs. You realize with the bright hair I have a darken blending mode. So this is there to tackle what the bright hairs you see crossing the darker hairs. So something like this and that, definitely this and that. So those are the bright hairs I see on the darker part. So these ones, if I should pick up the clone stamp tool and let's say, okay, let's send opacity to 100 and let me target one side, taking a look at this strand, you realize the hair is in focus, all right, but it's not so much in focus. So the flow, I'll leave it somewhere around 30, and my hardness will be somewhere around 20, just to be able to compensate for the blurriness of the hair. So if I should pick up, let's say this, hold Alt on the keyboard, or Option or Command, Option on Mac, Alt on Windows, I hold Alt and sample here. When I clean, it doesn't affect the darker side. When I pick this side to, let's say when I want to clean this hair strand and I tap here and I clean, you realize the part of the area at which I sampled and cleanse with, it's not being affected by where I sampled. So this is basically it, before and after. Let's just create a new layer and let me show you what I mean. So this is just a normal blending mode. When I sample here, it will automatically copy the same thing for me, and I would lose when I sample the brighter area and I try and paint in the darker part. You see what it does? It will paint in the darker part for me. But when I come back to the bright hairs and I sample here and I clean this, it just takes away the brighter hair away. And when I even sample, let's say here, which is the brighter part, and I try and paint here, we realize it's not painting. But comparing it to this, when I sampled here and I was painting in the darker part, it actually painted in there. So that's the difference between just a normal blending layer and the darkened blending layer. So with the dark hairs, the blending mode is in the lighten. So all I have to do is look for the dark hairs in the brighter part. So let's say dark hair, dark hair, dark hair, dark hair. So let's say this patch in here, I want to clear this patch. If I should click on the bright hair and I sample and paint over, it doesn't go away. Although it's a clone stamp too, it's trying to let me know that this is not a bright hair I have to take away. But if I come to the dark hairs and I want to clean this patch, I sample here and I paint over the dark hair, you realize it goes away as quickly as possible. So this is another way of filling in what these dark spots you don't want in your hair strand removal. So I would quickly go over some small hair strand removal, then I'll leave the rest to you guys. I think I'll ask if I can put out this image there, this raw file out from the person I took a raw file from, and see if you guys can try your hands on hair removal or any other hair removal you guys have. Then you just, so in as much I'm trying to take away these strands, I'm just looking out for crossing hairs, and make sure your brush size is as small as possible. And don't be afraid to zoom in. This is not skin retouching, this is hair retouching. So you can zoom in as close as possible and take away these hair strands we have here. So I don't want to bore you with this long video. That's, I think, if I should show you guys how I take out each and every strand, will do. So I'll just take you through quite some few ones. So sample and clean, sample and clean. It's all sampling and cleaning, right? And make sure wherever it is you are trying to take out the strands, you compensate your brush hardness and your brush flow in accordance to how sharp the hair strands you are trying to remove are. So we're here, I'm just trying to patch up these dark spots. So let's see before and after, before and after, before and after. So in here, I think the hair strands are quite prominent, so I'll move my flow to, let's say, 40, and my hardness to, let's say, 50. So let's take these, sorry, let's come to the bright hairs because it's a bright hair. Take these out, zoom out and see. So there are quite a lot of crosshairs in there. Which I would want to take out. So the whole idea is trying to take out the distracting. So you see this side is much blurrier than this, it's blurred out than this. So I'll reduce my hardness to, let's say, 20 and keep my flow at still 40, and take out these annoying hair strands. So if you have an idea of blemish removal using clone stamp 2, this should be very, very easy for you. So I think you guys get the whole idea of the hair strands removal in here, right? So if I turn on the check layer and I do a quick before and after, you realize I've taken out some blemishes in there. Should I say blemishes or hair strands? The annoying hair strands in there. So that's what the check layer is there for, to check if you're doing a good job. So let's just take a couple of them out. So take this out and that out. This bright hair is kind of disturbing. And yeah, so the same thing we are doing here is exactly what I did. Let me turn these off. This is exactly what I did here, the hair strands removal and patching and all that. So if I should open this and turn all these off, so this is basically the hair strand removal. So as you can see, these crosshairs that were in here, these little annoying crosshairs, so like I said, darken. If I should hold Alt on the keyboard and click on it, you see the little crosshairs I took off. So yeah, you should have time and patience for this, and you'd become very good at taking out crosshairs as quickly as possible. So that brings me to the very end of this video. I think the next time you see me do another video, I would have been done with these crosshair removal, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel as usual, and tell a friend to come check these series out, because we're about to create a lot of magic here. And thanks to Benzo Image for giving me, or Benzo Shots for giving me this particular hair to be able to teach you guys on hair retouching. And I think talking too much, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.